China's a surveillance state. Is it appropriate for President Trump to be saying China should look into the Biden family? Is that appropriate?
Look, of course not. Elections in the U.S. should be decided by Americans, and it's not the business of foreign countries, any foreign countries, to be interfering in our elections.
Even Ukraine? I mean, when you're talking about some of this, I mean, do you think that, say, the president's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, who's been talking about China, who's been talking about Ukraine, do you want to hear him testify about this sort of shadow foreign policy?
Listen, foreign countries should stay out of American elections. That's true for Russia, that's true for Ukraine, that's true for China, that's true for all of them. It should be the American people deciding elections. I don't know what Rudy's been saying. I do know, though, that we should decide our elections. It should be the American people making those decisions.
And you do want him to testify before your committee?
I think it'd make a lot of sense for Rudy to testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee. That's ultimately a question for the committee chairman, Lindsey Graham, but I'd like to see Rudy testify, yes.
You know things are dire when Ted Cruz can't even manage to defend Trump's actions. He's now become the latest senator to come out in opposition to Trump's effort to conspire with Ukrainian President Zelensky against Joe Biden. And the fact that there's even a question, the fact that this is even news, shows just how far the Republican Party has fallen. Because while it should go without saying that foreign countries should not be allowed to interfere with US politics, in that it is literally against the law, we've only heard a small handful of people on the right actually acknowledge that. And it's usually under duress, as seems to be the case here. But it goes to show a few things. That they're more afraid of an angry Trump tweet than they care about defending the Constitution, that they're incapable of actually managing to put country over party, and that their grandstanding about protecting the rule of law was just self-righteous sanctimony to make themselves feel patriotic. But before you go and congratulate Ted Cruz for managing to grow a spine, he does eventually settle in and find a way to equivocate Trump's crimes.
To be clear, you're not calling for the Justice Department to investigate the Biden family.
Look, I believe the Justice Department should investigate violations of law. If there's credible evidence of a violation of law, yes, they should investigate it. And I'll tell you what I have called for. I think President Trump wisely released the transcript of his conversation with the Ukrainian government. I think that was good because a lot of what the Democrats had been raising, alleging an illegal quid pro quo, was not in fact backed up by the transcript. But I think actually the administration should do the exact same thing for Joe Biden, that it should release the transcripts of Joe Biden's conversations with Ukraine, use the same standard for President Trump and Joe Biden, and let the American people read the transcripts and decide.
So despite the fact that Cruz managed to oh so courageously admit that Trump shouldn't be seeking foreign help to investigate an American citizen for the express purpose of interfering in our election, here's where Cruz actually feels comfortable, in that he can finally let his partisanship fly and start blaming Hunter Biden for all of Trump's criminality. When asked if he thinks the Justice Department should investigate the Biden family, Cruz suggests that they should if there's credible evidence of violations of the law. The only thing is, there aren't. All accusations of Joe and Hunter Biden have been investigated and adjudicated. They all concluded that the Bidens did nothing wrong. Biden wasn't pushing for the Ukrainian prosecutor's ouster to protect his son. He was joining the Obama administration and the European Union and the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank and anti-corruption advocates in Ukraine to oust a prosecutor for not pursuing corruption. That's the entire story. There is not and never was any crime. The right may not like that Hunter Biden made a lot of money advising this company that he might not have been qualified for, and $50,000 a month is a lot, although it pales in comparison to the $82 million that Ivanka and Jared made in 2018 alone, but right, sorry. The appearance of impropriety only counts when Trump can wield it against Democrats to win in 2020. My mistake. But the point is that Cruz is purposefully giving oxygen to this baseless conspiracy theory that Hunter Biden did something wrong by suggesting that the DOJ should investigate if there's evidence of a violation, which there unequivocally is not. Cruz then goes on to praise Trump for releasing the summary of his phone call with Zelensky, claiming that it proves Trump didn't do a quid pro quo. Although, I'm not sure if we saw the same summary because that's not what it says at all. The facts surrounding this case are beyond simple. Trump withheld $250 million in military aid to Ukraine. He then called President Zelensky, explained during the call that the United States does a lot for Ukraine, which is a clear reference to our military aid since that's effectively the extent of our help, but then claims that we're not getting a lot in return. But not to worry, because Trump then said, "I would like you to do us a favor though," and proceeded to ask Zelensky to open an investigation into Biden. Zelensky agreed. Then the aid was released, along with an additional $140 million that even the Ukrainian president admitted he didn't expect. So no, Trump didn't say the words, "Hello, President Zelensky, I am now prepared to do a quid pro quo," but he did do a quid pro quo. You don't need to sign a presidential decree proclaiming the formation of a quid pro quo for it to happen. And Republicans like Cruz pretending that you do are acting in complete bad faith, and they know it. But even someone as partisan as Cruz admitting at the very least that Trump shouldn't be able to ask a foreign country to investigate an American citizen is a big deal. This is someone who showed up on national TV and claimed that allegations against Biden, based on literally nothing, deserve just as much scrutiny as allegations against Trump for a crime we literally witnessed him confess to. For someone that partisan to concede that Trump was wrong should put into perspective just how much trouble Trump is in.